guys, so we are what, 2.5 weeks out until Kanae is dropping for February, I think, right? Because Hazel says she's going to be here for practically the whole month. It seems that what the developers are aiming to do is to really cater to and leave these units out long enough in preparation for, I guess, the hard version of the workshop of being like basically going into the March update, right? And with all of that, defense penetration, it seems this is the next meta. Well, I say it's the next meta, we kind of get it's the next meta since the workshop Brilliant Light really is in favor to cater to defense penetration, hence why Hazel was actually low-key kind of catered to that, and that the fire element itself is really catered to defense penetration, and that's the theme that is going to be continued on when we even get the version 2 team of fire elements. So for example, you know, when I say version 2, I'm talking about how in the preference of light typing, you know, you've got Cha, of course, and then you can run Go and Min. Version 2 is Go, Shimizu and Thomas, right? That's basically what I mean by version 2. So in the case of fire element, it'll be Hazel, Gina, and then Kanae, of course, when she drops in again 2.5 weeks time, of course. Now, some interesting news Alpha has informed us not only on the next red unit or the fire units, but we also have a little bit of a update on what the plan is for Goto Ryuji, and yeah, it seems that wind is going to be even more stronger. Well, no, wind is basically getting, I want to say, the light treatment, what it feels like. Now, just before I get ahead of myself, I've got a ridiculous amount of codes. I managed to get the newest code, which is the mana ×2 mana power extract. So if you're a supporter of mine, please check your inbox. If you're a new supporter of mine, check your inbox. I've sent you guys all the codes. Still got two more codes to gain. So yeah, your boy's on that code grind, of course. And again, giveaways are all out and about doing its thing, so if you guys do want to join it, if you're a supporter of mine, in the description is the link. Do as you please. But again, if you guys do need the code, your boys got you. Again, we're getting them all. We're getting them all. So again, huge thank you to Alpha, keeping us in the loops of things. So we've kind of, the role is that she's going to be fire element, which we know of. DPS role, which is, again, what we know of. Now, the last thing we heard about this character is that she's going to have some similarity to how Amamiya works, right? A DPS assassin type character. Now, she has a special mechanic where she scales off from her crit. So defense penetration scales with crit. This is unique. I don't think we've seen anything like this. Typically, when it comes to scaling, it's more to do with the generic, like, defense, attack, HP. But now we have a DPS character that is most likely going to be fitting that assassin type role, where we have to cater to her crit, because from that she'll scale off to then to do defense pen. Crit, defense pen. I'm sorry to say, but SOOHYUN, you're gonna get replaced hard. Like, I'm not being funny. This might be one of the hardest replacement that we have seen in terms of it just kind of happened in a flash compared to how it is right now. Because if you regard Hazel to Emma, they're both good in their own rights. You can comfortably still capitalize and maximize on using Emma over Hazel. That is, like, they're basically on par. When I do my tier list, I'll talk furthermore on and where I'll class Hazel, of course. But regards to, like, you know, Hazel releasing her being a tank character, and it kind of clashing between her and Emma, who's the better one, it's just like they're both good, like on par. You can comfortably use Hazel, you can comfortably use Emma, you can get you know, get on with applying the buffs, doing the breaks, doing that damage, and just kind of doing the all-rounder supportive play, of course. I mean, each of them have their own advantage play on when you want to use Emma, when you want to use Hazel. That I will agree on. But in this perspective, with the DPS route of things, for me, this is going to be an easy hard, like, because after Kanae, I mean, the only time which, and I again, this is probably going to be a very, very low amount of time. If I need to capitalize on range, that is the only time where I'll probably choose to use SOOHYUN. Outside of that, Kanae might be the choice. Again, I'm just going off from now the special mechanic and what she's going on. So we're going to be heavily building off that. And then obviously pulling her more. I mean, if she also scales off from attack too, that's going to be crazy. But to buff up her crit, attack, defense pen, this is going to be an insane character in terms of fight DPS. Let's be real. And then yeah, as you guys can see, Goto Ryuji right now is being used as a wind character and playing that tank role. Things can change, but this I feel like this might be like a solid role and typing that he's going to be sticking with. What he's going to be doing, we do not know. But with how they've gone about with the current tanks for the game itself, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've been impressed, I've been happy. So coming in as a tank character, I'm not going to disregard that. I mean, right now, Wind really has Jinchul, which, I mean, he's still kicking ass and chewing bubblegum, especially with how much of a buff character that he is. Well, how much of a good tank he is ever since he had his buff. So, yeah, good things to come. And obviously with Wind typing outside of Hansemi, of course, if we can... I mean, well, she's doing well, but, like, I wouldn't be opposed to get another Wind support. But yeah, with Amamiya and Goto Ryuji working as one, oh, Wind Elements could be cooking with gas. But look, I'll give it to SOOHYUN. She's been holding it down for quite some time, but I still will say it, and again, from the gameplay you guys are watching, of course, she's just too slow. That's my only thing. That's my only negative thought. If Kanae is quick and speedy, if they are, again, building her anything too similar of Amamiya, it's just going to be a done deal. That's it. I'm all about that quickness. I'm all about getting my attacks off, of course. Okay, even if there is like a second or two to wait, of course. If majority of her attacks are quick, then it's a fair deal. SOOHYUN, across the board with all her attacks, unfortunately, there's always some form of 2 to 3, maybe even 4 seconds. Well, no, I guess that's a bit too much. 2 to 3, right? Backflip, charge up. Yeah, it's just... I need something more to kind of quick off and pop off. I mean, well, maybe in the gameplay, but there's been situations where I'm just like, right, time to get the shot off, and it's just like any time now. And the enemy at that point is already charging up their attack, ready to kind of launch it. So I'm kind of having to resort to moving, dodging out of the way, of course, and cancelling the attack. So again, that's kind of like where I'm at on a personal level with what I've experienced, with what I want, and what I'm expecting when it comes to kind of hit the release. If there's any form of quickness, and I am honestly expecting a disgusting amount of damage to be accomplished, especially with Azel and Gina to come in with their combination to buff up the fire element. Yeah, I think this might be probably the easiest, hardest, not skip, but like replacement. Out of every other character that we've had in the game, in terms of what the light elements, because of course we've got two DPS, 2 healers, of course. There's no hard replacement there. You can still use either or, mix and match. You know, it's still viable on the teams. Wind typically has one team, so you got nothing going on there. Same with water. Dark element, ever since they did their buff for Lim and Beast, again, it's in the same boat. You can mix and match. You can use either or. It's completely fine. So again, there's no hard replacement on that one. But I think with this one, again, this is for me personally, this might be a hard replacement. And even with Goto Ryuji, I mean, we don't know nothing about him, but I'm sorry, Jinchul is still a fantastic breaker. This man ain't going anywhere unless something crazy happens, unless the developers go absolutely insane. You got to keep in mind, when this man drops, we're going to be like a month and a half out until first year anniversary. So hey, they have to cook. Hey, they have to make him like a high incentive to pull. So that's all I'm trying to say. But in the likes of, you know, the flare DPS coming in, I don't want to take away the light of SOOHYUN, don't get me wrong. Again, I'm pretty sure she'll have a value in certain points. Long range is kind of where I've been sticking it most at. But yeah, defense penetration and scaling off crit, we can go high on the offensive in terms of building up Kanae from that alone. So if they keep that type of build structure for her, then I think we are going to be cooking with gas. I'm telling you right now, boys. Her stats for the offensiveness is going to be just raw. So I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that.